Thank you for sticking around. This is still Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. It's Mainland Focus. It's that time of the morning where we give you an opportunity to participate and talk to us, give us feedback. Like I always remind you, this whole conversation is not a monologue of any kind. We're not talking to ourselves. We're having these conversations so that you can also have an opportunity to air your opinion on these matters, because the same way they affect you is in the same capacity that they affect me. So let's talk about these things. Let's have your considerations about these matters. And for Mainland Focus, we pick at least 2 stories from the plethora of stories that we analyze during trends in the papers, and then we also allow you the opportunity to talk on these 2 stories, because I believe they are just as significant to you as well. For this morning on Mainland Focus, we have chosen 2 stories. Of course, as expected, we need to put a lot of spotlight on the power crisis in the northern part of the country. We know that we generally have a power crisis on our hand as a nation. It's a national concern, but unfortunately we have the north really down in the barrel. We have states like Bayelsa, for one, who for 5 months have been without electricity. Now the issue is in fixing the damaged power lines, which is a function of insecurity in the northern part of the country. It's difficult because protection has to be provided for the engineers that would repair these damaged power lines. And then Fuad asked a critical question: after the repair, if we're able to successfully repair the power lines, what sort of protection would be made available to ensure that we do not see a recurrence of these vandals or this vandalism that has been experienced with power infrastructure? And also, as much as we're talking about long-term solutions to this problem, what short-term solutions can we put in place at this time to at least alleviate the current suffering of our brothers and sisters in the north, whilst we're trying to fix the cables, maybe put in place some sort of security architecture to prevent a recurrence? What short-term plans need to be enacted right this very moment to at least alleviate the power outages, alleviate the burden on the shoulders of small business owners that are affected by this power outage that has been on for months on end? Well, to talk about the second story for this morning, we'll be having a conversation about the back and forth that has happened between former President Olusegun Obasanjo and this administration. If you remember, the former president put out something of an opinion piece, if we can call it that, and said that imagine, and this is me quoting very loosely, imagine a president that came into power without a plan. Well, the presidency has responded to that write-up or to that article, and they have compared the administration of the former President Olusegun Obasanjo to this administration, and they have questioned in what capacity can he talk about the performance of this administration if during his own tenure things weren't necessarily any better. They even highlighted specific examples like the deregulation of the downstream sector, of downstream oil sector, and how he failed to carry out this mission, but this administration was able to deregulate the downstream sector. They also spoke about how fuel prices went up multiple times under the administration of the former president. But then all of the instances that have been highlighted are quite similar to the current reality even under this administration. So then what again is your thought about this back and forth between the former president and this administration? And if it were up to you, do you agree that this administration came in without a plan? They might have had a vision, but do you think that they had plans in place to deal with the issues that we were grappling with? And do you think that their policy so far, instead of solving the existing problems, exacerbated the problems? And again, I guess it's safe to ask that, do you at this point believe, even if there's an iota of belief in your heart, that there would be long-term benefits if we're able to see these policies through? So those are the 2 stories we have for you this morning. We're having a conversation about the darkness in the north, the repair that is required, the fact that we need to liaise with security agencies to ensure that the engineers who will fix this damage in the north are guarded. And then even if the repair happens, what sort of measures do we need to put in place to prevent a recurrence of this damage? And and what are the short-term solutions that need to be immediately put in place, immediately employed to make sure that at least power is restored to the northern part of the country, and also how we can deal with the structural deformity that is currently within the TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria. There you have it, the two stories for conversation. Fuhad Saheed will speak very briefly on these two stories, more or less just to give us more insight into his opinion about the selected stories, and then we'll open the phone lines. Fuhad, good morning once again. Thank you for being on standby.
All right, so I'll make it very brief because a lot has been said already. On the issue of plan or no plan, whether we like it or not, it is from the results of what we have. Again, pitching that against what was promised and what is being done, and the resultant effects of what is being done, that we can now draw a conclusion on whether there's a plan or not, or whether there was a plan or not, depending on how you want to put it. But again, if I want to be looking at what was promised and what we have now, I think it's going to be extremely difficult for anybody to say there was actually a plan. Unless there was a plan that we didn't know about, really. If you understand what I'm saying. Because what was promised is completely different from what we are saying. No matter how people try to paraphrase it or make excuses. What was promised was that, look, we'll bring it down. And at the point when that promise was being made, the fuel was only for 195 naira per liter. And it was said that, look, they said the thing will get to 200, to go to 500. No, we are going to bring it down. And nothing has come down. So some people who are just making up one of excuses and not talking about the regulation. Is the regulation a new thing? What is the methodology and the end game to the so-called deregulation? Those are some of the issues that they keep, Again, the question is this. In policy implementation that would have far-reaching implications and consequences of the living standards of people, are we supposed to put the cart before the horse? Are some things supposed to precede the implementation of this policy that we have not done? That's led to this kind of chaotic implementation of the same policy we are talking about. So those are some of the critical issues that they just don't want us to talk about. We'll talk about it. Because it is in between the promise and the implementation that we can know whether there was a plan or not, or whether the plan is actually working or is not working, if indeed there was a plan. So, but again, opinions may differ. The fact is the fact. It's always sacrosanct. And then on the issue of the North, like we rightly pointed out, and even from what we have in the story, it's not a northern problem. So for people who are a bit delusional about the fact that, look, if there's insecurity in the North, it's a northern problem, you are just deceiving yourself. Because for some who don't know, most of the power installations are even in the North. You understand now?
Yes.
And this idea of, we're going to provide security to the engineers and all of that. Yes, something has to be done quickly to restore power to the North. But how do we sustain the effort? How do we ensure it doesn't repeat itself? Because what we now have is that we have external sabotage, we have internal sabotage. External in the sense that, look, we now have fans who are attacking power installations, right?
Yes.
But we've also seen reports that there's also internal sabotage from even some of the power sector workers and their contractors, who also make a lot of money from repair works when these things are vandalized. That's also one issue. So and this idea of us unbundling the grid is a long-term solution, not a solution that can immediately address the concerns we have now with this big grid that we've not been able to stabilize. So it is what it is really. Like I said it earlier in the morning, I'm not going to put all of the blame solely on this particular administration. That would be unfair actually to do. But the question is, where do we go from here? How do we stop this problem? How do we solve this problem? An attempt to deflect on the responsibility of the president, to provide security in all parts of the country is the reason why we are not going to solve the problem. If we are still going to be making excuses about who is in charge of security or not, then it means we are not committed to solving the problem. Because I've now seen people who are now saying, the northern governors should go and solve their problem. The same thing they didn't say to Jonathan. I remember they called Jonathan all manner of names. He was clueless. He doesn't understand anything. He's not doing anything. Now they are there. It's not going to be the president's problem. It's not the governor's problem. What kind of hypocrisy is that? And that's the reason why, as a nation, we are not getting anything done. Because we go ethnic, we go political, too much of sentiment, go into analysis of issues. So when our interest is involved. said we have to declare national emergency. Security first, others will follow. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Fuhad, for your insight. We appreciate you. Well, let's hear from you. Let's hear what you have to say regarding these two issues. The unfortunate reality of the North at this time, especially regarding power outages and how long this incident has continued to occur. Don't forget that outages in the North is not something that is happening for the first time now. If you look at the Guardian report, they give instances even under the past administration where vandals have affected power supply to the North. And don't forget that the majority of the power that we generate in the country is more or less a function of the North, because we have most of our power plants stationed there. So let's talk about the long-term consequences of this power outages as a result of vandals, and the fact that our attention has been drawn to the dysfunctionality within the TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria, a combination of all of these problems and the consequence it would have for us, because the report in itself highlights that we are losing billions of naira in repair, and we're also losing billions of dollars in investment. Some of the plans that we've had for the power sector might not see through because of interruptions like this one. So what short-term solutions should be put in place as we look towards long-term solution? What sort of security arrangement should be put in place to ensure that we see a reduction in the amount of influence that these vandals have on our power transmission? And also the back and forth with this administration and the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and the fact that the former president, via a report, highlighted that the president came in without a plan. The presidency took it upon themselves to respond to said report, and they have spoken about all the alleged wrongdoings of the former president and how he was unable to achieve many things that they are now achieving. Do you believe that this administration indeed has a plan? And if we're just patient, we might see the benefit of these plans. This is me reiterating the conversation for this morning so that you can focus on the subject matter. Please, I implore you to not deviate from the focus of the day, because as you know, the minute you do that, every other person that calls in jumps on that bandwagon and totally disorganize the conversation. So please stay on the focus for the day. We're talking power, we're talking the former president Olusegun Obasanjo and this administration and the allegations of not having a plan. We're available on social media. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can take advantage of the live chat option. I already see a number of messages. I'll read them before I start taking fresh contributions. If you do not want to talk to us via social media, you can talk to us directly via the phone. The phone line is 0913 6000 410. The phone line again, 0913 6000 410. There's also the option of WhatsApp or text messages. For those of you who use non-internet phones, you can send a direct text message to the number 0913 6000 430. The number again, 0913 6000 430. 2 minutes is allotted to each caller. Please stay on track, stay on the focus, and please, once again, I implore you to please refrain from any form of character assassination. Do not malign anyone, do not malign a caller, do not malign any personality. Get straight to the point. Use your 2 minutes judiciously and allow for other people to speak. Thank you for your understanding. Let's take our first phone call for the morning. Hello, thank you for calling. Oh, I don't know if that's a connection problem, but you have every opportunity to call back. We're here till about 9:45 a.m. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, morning. My name is Big Ben. So I'm calling from Amodofi.
All right, Big Ben. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Yesterday I want to discuss about this power issue. This power issue, talking about power issue in Niger Delta. I heard this vandalization that's occurring in Port area, which Delta State does not have light for almost 6 months. And the state government, because for me I'm blaming that state, the state government there. Because I don't know what he is doing. Before the past election, he was saying that he wants to build this gas turbine in that state. If I should tell you up to now, that something has not been implemented. And also, Delta State has been in darkness for 16 influence, which is not supposed to be like that. That is why I'm blaming that the state government. But if it is how they want to run that state, I mean, it's a problem to balance out. So that there all kind of rubbish. People are using ordinary pepper to cook pepper and water, and then someone is going. You see them, they are suffering there. So, but many are shocked. Now, why the state government want to run it? I don't blame for what is happening in that state. Because a lot of things in that state that the governments are not doing well. Because they have the right to create their own parallel station. That's my take.
Thank you very much for your call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Tğᴇ.
All right.
Concerning the crisis between Obasanjo and the present president, it is obvious that you can't compare Obasanjo government with this present government. This present government lack direction. They don't have anything to offer. The issue is that reform, petroleum reform, you have frustrated the only traffic reformer in Nigeria. The man promised that it will provide food that will be enough for Nigeria. You people insisted on importation. That means it is obvious that the support is trading with Nigeria. We have nothing to offer. Apart from the fact that we have the family at Warri, Watercourt, Kaduna, they have abandoned them. So what kind of reform are they carrying? Tell me, I can't remember the time Obasanjo issued presidential order and it was not implemented. Can you remember all the presidential order issued by Tinubu? All of them have been implemented. Import duties on foods, import duties on pharmaceutical materials have they been implemented? The answer is no. So you can't be comparing the two of them together. Concerning what is happening to the northern Nigeria that have been thrown into darkness, the issue is that we thank God that they are now, it is clear to them, they are coming up with the plan that they don't want to embrace any form of reform or tax reform in their region. I believe we have APC governors among these people. So it is not just clear to everybody that Tinubu has nothing to offer. You just trading with Nigeria. So my opinion is that I believe with time, this government will answer as well as the state can come up with that they don't want to, they are not what I do.
Thank you.
That reform. And this reform is supposed to be implemented throughout the country.
Thank you very much for your call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Well, my name is coming from
All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, concerning what is going on between Obasanjo and our black president, if I may look at the two stories, this president doesn't have any direction at all, because they're just looking policy without any showing of it, especially in the area of West. All what we are coming from that we will bring it down, and we are buying for above 1,000, and everything now has turned to something else in the country. People are suffering. And also concerning the issue of life with the other part of the north. Now, I'm going to speak with the security now. I'm going to speak with the security people over the camp. I don't think that will go to this, but we only think about to restore everything back to us in this country, because people are going through a lot of difficulties, especially to feed their family in this country. Due to this anything for this government, people from the power without any plan. So they are just going about all the propaganda. We are doing this, we are doing this. You are too big, and yet if it doesn't show the lack of performance of the by the world, you will come back to normal. God bless your station and God bless the knowledge.
Thank you very much for your call. We appreciate you. I'll take a brief pause on phone call so I can take some of the messages that came through early in the day, and I'll go back to the phones. Timitalk Michael on Facebook says, hello Mainland FM. I keep wondering how we can have a better country if ASU, SANU and NASU, who are meant to teach and build good leaders of tomorrow, are not treated properly. There's no single year that these associations don't embark on a nationwide strike. The government should do the needful at the right time. Finally, it's time to put a stop to bullying, molestation and intimidation of innocent citizens from every quarter, ranging from security personnel and top political leaders. The most recent trending video on social media, coming from a member of the House of Representatives who is meant to lead by good example but turned out to be intimidating a driver who is just trying to get his daily bread to feed his family, should not be swept under the carpet. The government should approve the use of body cam by every citizen in the country as a way to curb this terrible act. God bless Nigeria. Temitope Notoye from Ijagemo community. Alright, thank you. Lukman Oladipukwa also on Facebook says, greeting from Dakar, Senegal. So the presidency can tell OBJ that he should not criticize Tinubu, as if Tinubu did not criticize OBJ Jonathan but only left out Buhari because he wanted to be president after Buhari. For me, the evil that men do would follow them. Not until we go back to regional government and allow each region to progress at their own pace, that is when we can make any meaningful progress. Alright, thank you very much, Lukman. John Bernard Ohi here says, good morning Sage and Fuad. For the president leaving the minister of power Adelabu during his cabinet reshuffle, it's a great mistake. That man has nothing to offer, and power is the backbone of every economy. We need a quote. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. We're taking contributions regarding the recent power outage in northern Nigeria. Well, basically a conversation around our electricity structure in the country, especially with the TCN and all of the things that are wrong with the transmission company of Nigeria. And also we're having conversations about allegations that this administration might not necessarily have a plan, statements that have been attributed to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and then the response of the presidency to that statement by the former president. Let's take your contributions. Don't forget that you can send messages via WhatsApp or text message 0913-6000430. You can call directly 0913-6000410, and you can send your contributions via Facebook or YouTube using the live chat option at Mainland 98.3 FM. I'm going back to the phones now. Keep the messages coming in. We'll get to them soon. Hello.
Hello, Sage.
Good morning.
Good morning, I'm looking.
Alright, nice to have you. Go ahead.
By my own case, I want to contribute. I don't know why you post on what the people yourself. Nothing far from the truth. Because what is happening, or who have started the president, they don't have any plan. They wanted to talk because of that name of the president, all those enjoyment and fun. That's what the man called, not that what the president just said. Because the same man that said, when he was campaigning, at the phone was around the 250 and we were killed. They said, this is not for that can someone buy for 250 hours. I will do it. Because I was 700 something. He said, I will do it. All these things were due because of me, so that I will not win the election. When I win the election, I will reduce them. Now the first person, I jacked the same one of 250 to over 1,000 hours. What can we do to say? These are the first person who was campaigning 2012. Talk about Jonathan. Someone said the former state governor, Tâyémí. He said that time they were catching up because the way we go, they don't want that power. They know what the man was doing was right. So because of Nigeria, both of the countries in the state in Nigeria, they need to catch on it. So what Obasanjo just said, he said the truth. So when we call out and say, oh, Obasanjo will have done it. Obasanjo did well. Okay, Obasanjo did not do something right. Can we continue that way? We will come and defend every day. Okay, this will continue. What we do, there's no one cannot play. So I don't want to go and say, what do you do for the thing I cannot play? So I will go to continue like this. For me, it's a totally failure. We don't enter government, we just say the future of our own. It's not a family affair. We have fought the structure, but we have to do it to wait till 2027. I've gave this government out 8 people totally from the Nigeria. Thank you.
Alright. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
This is Okangelina.
Alright.
I want to disagree with Obasanjo. How can we say that because it's the plan? with a plan. Everybody saying that the president will come with a plan is wrong. The president actually came with a plan. Somebody came and the last is very easy for Nigeria. Is that not a plan? So it's now 1,000 something, 1,213. It's a plan. So if people are not eating like they used to eat before, people are suffering, it's not a plan. It's the same plan. So anybody that says doesn't have a plan, that's the plan, and that's what is executing right now. So nobody should tell me that we have no plan. The plan we came to see is maybe to see Nigeria more than it was before, and that's what I'm saying now. So everybody that says that the man doesn't have a plan, the man is executing his plan. And at the end of his 8 years, how Nigeria will be is his plan. And I don't see it being better than it was before he came. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your insight. We appreciate you. Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah. I think this morning is it. I just want to talk about the power. The power issue become an issue within the country. Number one, the person that administers the power to the Nigeria is not educated enough in that area. And you cannot put that person in that area accountant to become the head of the technical department in any organization. It can never work. Even a common company cannot access it. That is why the issue is like that. And I can say it, the former APC candidate from Plateau State, they have it. The man is appointed as a minister of human resources. Go and check the CV of that man. He's qualified to be a minister of power within this country. He's only among of the 48 appointed. He's only one of the what they call ⴰ He's only minister that's qualified to be a minister of power within the country. And I'm saying it's not about that the man is from the northern or is in Nigeria. But if the Tűnùbù is putting at the level there because of the financial benefit that are attached to that ministry, the better this one is not about the financial, it's about the interest of the nation. Let them go back and review the appointment of that and throw into the minister of power and let Tűnùbù find another ministry for him to go and settle with it. That is my own case this morning. If he can do that one, I think we are already solving almost 50% of the power sector. If that one can be deployed to the minister of the power, the minister from Plateau State and the minister of the material affairs is coming. It's only that that can have that appointment to control the power sector.
Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. Hello. Hello. All right, do call back. Let's take a few WhatsApp messages we have here. Good morning. In as much as I pity our brothers in the north, I also want to castigate their elders. When someone breed lions to devour their enemies, the time will come when it will revert to the owners when the enemy is finished. I expected them to have curtailed the excesses of the so-called bandits. The repairs would have been instant if not for security reasons. We're watching. If I'm from Asheshe there with a message. We also have here, good morning, Sage and Fuhad. The manner at which our judges make different pronouncement of same case in different court, to say the least, we're heading to a state of anarchy. All right, thank you very much. We appreciate your insight, but that's not the focus for the day. We have another message here. Good morning, Sage and Fuhad. The controversial judgment, okay, also not the focus of the day. Thank you very much. We have here, good morning to you, Sage and Fuhad. My name is Pastor Sunday from Magboro. My submission is on the darkness in the north and Nigeria as a whole. Let us discourage corruption in Nigeria. Even if you fix the damaged facilities 100 times and you do not stop those sabotaging the government's effort, there will still continue to be a problem. On whether the former President Obasanjo had solved the problem of power or not is not our problem for now. The fact is, the current president has a long ambition for becoming the number one citizen. Now that he has the floor, I expect him to carry on with his plans if he has any. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much, Pastor Sunday from Magboro. Another message here on WhatsApp. Good morning, Sage and Fuhad. Former President Obasanjo is speaking true to power, since other former leaders like him has chosen the path of silence. The leaders of APC and the spokespersons of the president should know that the best way to reply the former president is to walk the talk, fulfill the promises that the president made to Nigerians. It's not just defending with mere talk and no fact. President Tinubu promised Nigerians affordable and available electricity. He promised the reduction of the pump price and he promised no strike. He also promised to fix the refineries, amongst other things. All these things Nigerians have not seen one be fulfilled. So what is the defense of the APC and the president's information minister? My name is Benjamin from Shogunle. Thank you very much, Benjamin. More messages. Good morning, Sage. There's no reason painting Baba Obasanjo's regime, notwithstanding his human errors. There were no bandits and kidnappers. There was hardly a hike in electricity tariff, and life is hellish at the moment. Noah from Igondo. One more message and back to the phones. All right. Good morning, Sage and Fuhad. Well, for once, this government is gradually admitting to the high level of insecurity in the country. Having security presence while performing the repairs is laughable, and I think until we have leaders that prioritize security and the well-being of Nigerians, we would have to keep eating agbado. Owen from Lagos. Let's take more phone calls. Hello. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Yes, morning to you, sir.
Yeah, Peter Moses from Shogunle.
Yes.
Yeah, Babalola.
Yeah.
Whoever by speaking on behalf of the president is commenting about Congo, I want the person to tell us what was our external reserve then. How much the Congo government is. You see, for me, OPC is very well told us. We know all these problems. We are coming with a change. They say they want to come and change all those people. Why is it that we are unable to change instead of that we make it worse? And we have the guts to reply to them. When we always say we do this country, I don't know whether they are doing business making their business in Nigeria or I don't really understand. They should congratulate Obasanjo for pointing out. Look, they say the day that you know that you are sick, that's when you are coming fast. When the government refuses to take advice, they refuse to take criticism, they refuse to allow them to talk, they will never look. You see the thing, I think, Babalola, thank you very much for speaking my mind. So I have a plan. And this is the plan that they are executing. The next time in Nigeria will be seen on grain from Ukraine and other countries. Nigeria will be eating rice, no cocoa again, no again, no bubble, no beans, nothing again for Nigeria, only grains. That's the plan they think. We will reduce your processing power. But you cannot remind you. People said, when you take somebody to live, and we give you 24 hours of electricity, and you will not pay a kilowatt bill again. If I don't have when I come back in 2027, don't vote for me. I think I heard that very tightly. We have not performed. We have failed. So power is open in the north. In fact, you know that there are some places in Lagos that for 2 months now, they have not had light. No, that of the north is peculiar. But how do we provide security? What changes?
Thank you. Have a better one. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
My name is Malam Salo, and I'm calling from Alabama.
Malam Salo, do you mind speaking up a little bit for us? It's hard to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, much better. Go ahead, please.
I'm speaking out of the voice.
All right.
The point of discussion is not on comparing Obasanjo and Tinubu because this time going down up and down.
When he says that the president came in without a plan, and the presidency thought it was wise to reply him and compare his administration to theirs.
Thank you. See, for the power of the North, I think that is a corporate conspiracy against the northern part of Nigeria. Which I don't know why any president that comes, the first focus is to find how he can destabilize the northern part of Nigeria. We fought Boko Haram, we are fighting the bandits and etc. Now they have moved to other vandalization of power equipment. This is to talk about 9 states or whatever, or northern part of Nigeria. It's a complete conspiracy against northern part of Nigeria to kill us economically. But they also tried before they failed, and they also failed. They will fail. Inshallah, they will fail. Because how can we just frequently, when you keep power, you keep the economy of the region now? Why is it so? What happened to other parts of Nigeria? Why is it so? Forget about Niger Delta. Forget about Niger Delta.
I said
why is it that only this region is happening? Niger Delta is happening.
We can't forget Niger Delta. We can't do that. Every region is going through
something. I said in Bayelsa.
Right.
But is it the entire region of Niger Delta? We are talking of 9 states now. 1 state about 1.5 states now.
It doesn't matter.
About 9 states now.
It doesn't matter the amount of states affected. If a region is affected, We cannot weigh or pick and choose.
So why is it that the place where the Greek is while the area that's generating the light, and the one that is suffering.
But the oil is also suffering as well. The Niger Delta.
That's why I say it's a conspiracy by government.
Okay. Thank you very much. I really don't want us to do it back and forth, and I feel like for every statement you make, I'll be forced to interrupt you, and I don't think that's a decent way to have a conversation. All right. I understand you, but I don't think this is a conversation that would go well, especially because we're on our radio. There's no one region that is superior to the other. There are many regions that contribute significantly to the economy of the country, and they are not exactly having a field day. So no one region is superior to the other. I think the same attention that is paid to one region should be paid to the other, although our problems vary from region to region. The Niger Delta, as you can tell, the rot that is going on in that entire structure is something that scares me. The fact that people cannot drink the water from there. Oil exploration is causing a lot of problem for them. Their aquatic ministry is nothing to write home about. The aquatic sector, sorry to say. And then in the north, where we have mineral resources that we can harness, insecurity has taken over that place. Even here in the south as well, we also have our own security issues. We have it's a lot of problems for different regions. All right, let's talk about these problems rather than start with this conspiracy theories and what have you, and distracts us from the primary focus, which is the actual problem afflicting these different regions. All right, I'll take 2 more phone calls and then I'll go back to Facebook to read the messages that we have. This is Mainland Focus on Mainland 98.3 FM. I'm Msalɪ Babalola. I'm here to take your contributions. Hello. Please turn down the volume on your radio.
Good morning.
Morning to you. Tell us your name. Calling from
Please rescue us from these better people who are using only that they are saying they are taking it away by doing the form of upgrading on their life. They just want to believe that the hospital is not giving them the amount of money they wanted. And that the hospital give them no higher money than the other, so they want to take it away and replace it with they are giving us November 14. Please, people should help us. And that is why we are saying that we don't know why what back. We cannot throw Baba away. That is just what to throw the baby with the back water. But we can take the message from Baba. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at what is happening now, where is the direction? Look at where the dollar stands against the dollar. Look at the prices of petrol. Look at the state of our refineries. And what is big on we brought about economy. We are seeing where we are economically. They say we are seeing where without $20 and cronies. And we are seeing you see $100 with our money out of which they cannot account for. See what matter is we have to source. But this present government, I think they should have an introspect, sit down within themselves, look within themselves, and look at the complaints of Nigeria and have a redirection. Honestly, we are not finding it easy. We want funds. But to sit down and think about how they can then make amendments and make sure that they give us good governance. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for your call. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Well, I think I'm going to go another.
All right.
Well, honestly, I don't have spoken very well. If I want to go by Obasanjo, I think Baba is very right. This government is absolutely foolish. People will just that, let's come to think of it. Nigeria has never been suffered like this before in history. Nigerians, they've never been going through all like this since 1960, when we got independence. The government that has a plan, that has a blueprint, will come to power and actually begin to state the statement one by one. If they are telling me that we put down, they are working on what? For when and what? Have you been watching and seen about those things? We are not seeing any positivity. What we are seeing is negativity on ground every day. So how do we go forward? Baba made a statement in fact when he traveled. He said that I wish there could be a way. Which means that there will not be a way out. But I want them to know one thing. There may not be a way out for them. There are many ways out for us. And we are not going to it. This government is just that there's no good things. They don't have any plan. That is why things are not working. And talking about power outage. This is the electricity now we have in Nigeria. I don't know. The problem is we have a lot of incapable minds in all those ministries. The people we appoint them based on political, friendship, political work. The cronies of Mr. President. It doesn't matter. If you look at it, how many of them are people so not safe? Every day, insecurity, people are not going away. Even the way people are actually running away now in Lagos, So they are money. Where are we going? How much are we going to continue with all this? People need to come to answer me. If they are not effectively enough for one thing, then let's resign. Let us breathe. Let them get to survive. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
This is Bella from Okoto.
All right.
Thank you for your program. I have tried to get to the kind for today.
Glad you did.
When you have problems, you don't need to follow, you continue to holler. But when you know the problem is you will have to challenge them. They don't know the honest people, they don't know where it comes from. About the day that I was accusing Bola today, it's not possible $1 now. You see like one day. She could never do arrested. In fact, an article in some Nigerian assets. All black people become a story to cover that others are not capable, others are not happening. So they all is coming, they are not more working. Where we are today. We talk about some leaders who are in this country when the former government Paris Bamboo, that person the government is over back. We are having from the president carry our money, nobody to South Africa. What are we talking about? We are not having self-respect people within the government. Why you don't know the problem? Why do you know our problem? Why did the government work? This one has disadvantaged electricity. How many state governments that come and support that the government has to work my state? They are talking about the local government autonomy. What kind of government? They are nobody could come out. No people come to protect against government that was possible. I will tell you hala. If you don't have the number, how many people have recorded? How many people can record them? You don't say to you are not going to be sorted. I believe Nigeria is coming to report that how do we because now nothing work.
All right, thank you very much. I struggled honestly to hear most of the things that you said because you were speaking quite loudly, but then majority of the things that you said are still allegations, all right? And I know that most of you are very confident in some of these things that you say, and you say it as a statement of fact, but according to the law, it's still an allegation until an individual is convicted for something. It's still an allegation, all right? So let's always bear in mind when we say these things. It does not question your intellect or what have you, but then until a court has convicted an individual or until trial has happened, all these things are still pretty much allegations. All right, let's bear that in mind. I'm pausing on phone calls for a bit so I can read messages on Facebook. On Facebook, Chris Ewalem says, good morning, Sage and Fuad. My take on this issue, whether there was a plan or not, is there is no plan. And if there was a plan, the president should have commenced the fixing of our 4 refineries by now. But the exact opposite is what is happening in the country today. Perhaps the only plan he has was how to take care of himself, the vice president, and the National Assembly, as well as his medical tourism. If he had a plan for the suffering masses, fuel pump price and the cost of living would not be skyrocketing by the day, as we are currently experiencing in the country. This is what happens when competence and capacity is lacking in leadership. All right. The World on Facebook says, it's funny how the APC has always looked back to former parties as the reason behind the problems that we're facing today. Firstly, President Tinubu came in with the mantra, don't pity me. He said he came knowing what the country's situation was, and this goes to prove that there were no plans to alleviate the suffering of the people before ascending power with what we are seeing and facing today. Secondly, on the issue of insecurity, let the armed forces eradicate and not arrest the terrorists and also their sponsors. This will send a strong message that terrorism is not good business. Arresting people who pretend to surrender under the premise of repentant terrorists and after some time go back to their ways has to do with ideology and is very difficult. It's a sickness that cannot be cured. The major question here is, after the battle, how do we win the war on terrorism? My solution is no tolerance and negotiation with terrorists. All right, thank you very much, the world. Benjamin Isse on Facebook says, good morning, Sage and Fuad. Former President Obasanjo is speaking true to power, since other former leaders like him chose the path of silence. I read this on WhatsApp already. Thank you very much. We have Frederick Morka, who says, good morning, Mainland FM. Former President Obasanjo on the present government not having a plan is 100% right. Or rather, they had one but got carried away by the enormity of the issue on ground. Now they're using trial by error to fix glaring issues. Alright, thank you, Frederick. Another item when Michael said, hello, Mainland FM, let's call a spade a spade. I can tell you for free that the country will not have been at this terrible level if we have just 10 people like former President Olusegun Obasanjo who will hit the nail on the head and tell the president the truth and not join the praise singers that are not telling him the fact. I concur with the statement of the former president in which he said all he said is not different from what Nigerians have been saying, that even led to a peaceful nationwide protest, which the present administration has tagged as treasonable felony. The increase in fuel pump price without making adequate provision for the adverse effect is the reason for the country's economic crisis. On the power outage in the north, the truth of the matter is that the northern elders should call a gathering that they themselves would tell themselves the truth on how to work with the military security operatives in a view to find the lasting solutions to all the insecurity going on in the region, which has led to the continuous vandalization of electrical appliances. The government should do it, says, good morning, Sage and Fuad. Well, for once, this government is gradually admitting to the high level of insecurity in the country. Having security presence while performing the repairs is laughable, and I think until we have leaders that prioritize security and the well-being of Nigerians, we will have to keep eating agbado omena from Lagos. I read this on WhatsApp already. Kabiru Adigbinru says, good morning, Madam Sage and Oga Fuad. This government has failed us by not giving us our basic needs. The president pledged during campaign that he will bring down the price of petrol. Today, we're buying a litre at over 1,200. God bless my country, Nigeria. Christopher F. Young here on Facebook says, hello, Mainland FM. The comment of our former president is 100% correct. What happens in this government shows that there was no proper plan on ground before coming into power. Although the presidency has not seen it as a true statement, the blind person can even feel it. I'm not a spokesman for the former president, but the former president did very well during his government. He opened the door for democracy here in Nigeria, although most of the things he did was not perfect, but some were very good, which we still benefit from today, especially telecommunications and reforms in the banking sector. Sage, I don't know why you do not want to discourse about the lawmakers' misconduct. That matter should be taken very serious. If need be, he needs to be sacked, because most of these politicians see themselves as small gods, especially when they have policies on their side. God bless Nigeria. Amen. No, I'm not saying I don't want to talk about it. I was just saying that I will not give him, the attention that he wants so bad, to be honest. I just don't think that they are deserving of our attention. But yes, you do have a point. We should definitely punish individuals who abuse power. I'm going back to the phones now. 0913-6000410. It's Mainland Focus. We're talking outage, the power outage and the blackout in the north. States like Bayelsa, for example, 5 to 6 months without electricity. The influence on our economy, the influence on the plan that we have for collaboration with neighboring countries, amongst other things. What are the short-term solutions that we should put in place as we look to repair this damaged power lines, and also the security structure that we should put in place to prevent AV currents? And also, we're talking about the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, who has said that we have a president who came in rather without a plan, and the presidency has responded, well, you want to speak, you do not exactly achieve the majority of the plans that you had in place. If anything, our administration have been able to make good of some of the promises that we have made. That was the response of the presidency to the claims by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo. And now we're asking for your opinion. Do you believe that this administration truly has a plan? And if they do, how much confidence do you have in this plan and all of the long-term benefits that has been promised if these plans fall through? Sage Babalola is my name. When you call, tell me your name, tell me where you're calling from. Take 2 minutes to give your opinion on the subject matter. Hello. Morning.
Calling from Ikola.
All right.
I want to just say something straight, and I would like us to be factual in this country. If if anybody's offered an opinion to go back to any administration between this choose between the life we are living during Obasanjo's time and what we are facing now, I mean 99% of people wish to go back to where we are during Obasanjo's time. Life was convenient. Forget about what is the output. Forget about what we are saying. What is the output? Plan or no plan. What is the output? Life is so difficult now to even live. People are even considering suicide. So what are we talking about? And some people still have the guts to still compare this things. This is unfair. And even this so-called president was calling out the president, then he was not calling out government. So it is the stupid of anybody to tell us to go and call out our government or our house of work. For what? Even the president then was calling out Obasanjo then. Now people should not call Tinubu because of what? He paid us and we should call his name. We are paid off. Forget about all this nonsense plan is giving us. The plan is giving us is the plan of suffering. That is the plan. What's the plan? It's the plan of suffering. We are all seeing it. We promise that what we had was promised, not planned. And there is difference between promise and a plan. If we have a plan, if we have a promise, then the how should be the plan. But there's no how. There's no how. I always ask that question. How do you want to achieve this? But Nigerians will pay to ask that question. He just wants our man. Our man is already punishing us. We should enjoy it. God bless Nigeria.
Alright, thank you very much. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Sage.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well.
I'm Shola.
Alright.
Good. My name is Shola. I'm calling from 𝐴gbẹ́dá, Lagos.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, concerning the, would I say the observation, not even allegation, by former President Obasanjo that this present government, headed by Tinubu, didn't have a plan. It's an observation which, is not possible to hide behind a finger. Even right when they were campaigning, it was glowing, but many people decided to, turn a blind eye. When they ask him questions, they be referring to other people to answer. All they wanted is just to get that power, so that his name can be in the book of history. And it was going. Then I don't know when you will know that they don't have a plan. If look at the way they handled the subsidy removal, there must have been palliative measures. You understand? It's not something that will just be sudden. You understand? Then look at the manner of way in which he appoints ministers. The former minister of sports also, I heard he was a farmer. You understand? Instead of bringing in technocrats, which you cannot compare to the time of Obasanjo. Obasanjo included technocrats. So, it's just a pity that Nigerians open their eyes and due to sentiments allow this to happen to us. I remember there was a bill that was passed for independent and power generation, I think.
Yes.
So I think, the governors, they have, these are things of vision that they should be looking into. You understand? This shows the lack of vision that they have from these leaders, these so-called leaders. When they generate their powers, these are things that we should do. We shouldn't be complaining about all this kind of things.
Thank you for calling.
In fact, it is well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello. Hello. Alright, do call back 0913-6000-410. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Madam.
Hello.
Hello, Madam.
Oh, hello. Yeah, sure. Hello.
Thank you, again. God bless you. My name is M쏘ɪᴜᴜ. Calling back from 𝐴mōɪᴜ. See, for the North, say, perhaps this or that. Yes, we support to do something. But the Lord must show them, the leaders, the followers, the governors. But a time, the world doesn't have to ban a terrorist. Who's what? That is what really started first. Our military are trying, but the police, the minister, the police, the flag, the homeless, they try to have a lot of work to play. What can you say the military? You live among yourselves. So if they say the small people with him and give them the hard names to go to the president, but the leaders, they have them blame too. And for Babalola Sage, of us, we see the beginning of some government, the beginning at the end of it. 8 years of Abajo, 8 years of Ẹ́ṣiṣẹ́ of Jonathan, Buhari, all of them, Buhari, all of them. They are terrible because 1 year, 4 months, or 1 year, 5 months. And the rest of you, have not that planning and start that planning. But a leader like Obasanjo is not to advise, go into a soul, not of the point of this matter. When you talk of returning, we are talking today. Our 4 refineries could not is a better time. What did they do about it? She said, bring out electricity. It is Yadua. When they make it around, what talk of 10 billion? If you know, it's 6 billion. Wasted. Electricity, no electricity.
Thank you.
Somebody tell me, somebody have 100% correct. No.
Thank you very much.
This is one more God bless you.
Thank you for your call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes. Good morning, my son.
Good morning.
This is Barrister Peter Nkwu. I'm calling from the Midland.
All right.
Yes. On the issues we are discussing, in terms of first of all, in terms of the power supply, the poor power supply, especially to the north, I think the major problem there is that there is no strategic plan on the part of the government to address that issue, because we have a lot of soldiers all over the place, both in the south and the north, especially in the north. What are they doing in the barracks? They are not doing anything. They just wake up in the morning and exercise, and that's all. Everybody men, they should deploy them to go and guide the power lines. Because when you have a headache, you cannot cure headache with Panadol. You must use appropriate measure. We cannot say security because of security. We cannot maintain data, give ourselves constant power. That is very embarrassing. And so those at the helm of affairs should take the proactive government action to ensure that either the Boko Haram or any other person, they do that they cannot stop us in one nation from getting constant power supply. The manufacturing sector is suffering everything. So they should be up and doing.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a beautiful morning. Well, that's the last call we can take for today. As always, we'll spend the remaining, say, 3 to 4 minutes that we have left to take messages, as many as possible. I'm doing WhatsApp first. Good morning, beautiful people of Mainland FM. May God Almighty continue to bless Fuad for his wonderful analysis. The problem with us Nigerians most of the time is that we're good at celebrating mediocrity and hypocrisy. We called former President Jonathan clueless and all manner of ridiculous names over security issues that was only prevalent in the northeast then, but today insecurity has taken over every part of the country, including the south, and the president is being exonerated, thereby shifting the blame to the governors, even when the governors do not have the power to do much. It is such an irony. On former President Obasanjo's remark, I agree with him totally, cause impoverishment of Nigerians. Victor Aloigboke from Ikeja. Thank you very much, Victor, for your message. We have here, good morning, Sage and Fuad. My name is Dolakpo for Ikpaja. Thank you specifically to Mr. Fuad for his analysis today. All right, thank you very much. We have here Isioma. Isioma says, good morning, Mainland FM. When Obasanjo was there, he did not do anything. Now Tinubu is there, he's doing nothing. So why are they blaming each other? They're learning from each other. Isioma from Abuli Egba. All right, thank you very much. Here, good morning, Mainland FM. Yes, it's absolutely true what former President OBJ said about the president. He had no plan before coming to power, and now that he's in power, he has only come to answer the office of the president. Just look back almost 2 years now. Where is the direction? Where is the plan? Emeka Moses from Lagos there with a message. We have here, good morning, Sage and Fuad. The former president criticized the past government. Criticizing him now is not a sin. We are constructive in our criticism because he's not doing well. Even if we criticize him the other way around, we've not done anything wrong because he has done a bad thing to the country. Former President Obasanjo's administration is better than this administration in all ramification. We should all use our sense come 2027 because he's coming back, and instead of complaining, we should get our PVC. We have his people everywhere like judiciary. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you. We don't have time to take any more messages, and honestly, I don't have time to edit your messages because they are rather crude for radio. But thank you very much. We get your messages, we acknowledge them, and we appreciate your continued desire to interact with us on radio every single morning. Thank you so very much. Again, before I go, I'd just like to tell you that as much as we are affected by the failings of those at the helm of affairs, right, I would always advise that we should not become the thing that we are castigating. As much as we are talking about how they're doing things wrong, how their speech can be considered insensitive, and how their decisions can be rather, it can have deleterious consequences on us as a people. I think that in responding to these inadequacies of those at the helm of affairs, we should not become them in a manner of speaking. So if you say that they're not performing optimally or they're saying things that you find to be hurtful, I don't think that you should also turn around and do the exact same thing. But yes, you are allowed to express your opinion, but let's do so with consideration for the fact that we're talking to millions of people, and now is the time we should encourage each other more, as much as we're also in the same capacity speaking true to power and asking that our leaders fulfill the promises that they made to us when they campaigned for these positions. My name is Jᴏɪᴜ Babalola. Thank you as always. It's such a pleasure to talk to you every single morning. We're due for another commercial break. At 10 we'll be back for Global View. This is where we analyze international stories and talk about all things happening beyond the borders of Nigeria. After this break, I'll be back at 10 for Global View. Don't go anywhere. The Morning Express continues.